welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to jump into a review you shared with us. It's a look at the documentary Homegrown by Michael Primo. This review comes specifically from the Glasgow Film Festival.
That's right. And our mission here really is to use this review almost like a shortcut to kind of unpack what it tells us about the film's main focus.
Which is?
Well, the individuals it follows, their perspectives, and how it depicts the whole lead up to the events around January 6th. It's about getting a, let's say, concentrated understanding of this particular viewpoint the documentary seems to capture.
Yeah, and the reviewer, they really zero in on some pretty striking details right from the get-go. Like meeting one of the subjects, Chris, building nursery furniture but wearing a 1776 shirt.
Right, that contrast.
Or getting a glimpse of another guy, Randy, who's apparently convinced Civil War is right around the corner. And then there's Thad's journey, an ex-serviceman, described as maybe the most conflicting of the three. It sounds like the film, at least through the reviewer's eyes, gives a very granular look at these lives.
It certainly seems to aim for that. The review frames Michael Primo's documentary, Homegrown, as trying hard for an objective stance, trying to present these individuals and their world without too much overt judgment, letting their words and actions kind of speak for themselves.
Okay, so the core of the film, as the reviewer sees it anyway, revolves around these three main figures, Chris, Randy, and Thad.
Exactly. And Chris seems to be, well, perhaps the most prominent one featured in the review. The reviewer describes that opening scene you mentioned, Chris, building furniture for his son, wearing that 1776 shirt.
Yeah.
And the reviewer pauses on that shirt, sort of speculates, is it a nod to the Declaration of Independence or maybe a reference to Trump's later, 1776 report?
It leaves you wondering, and right away, the review quotes him from the film saying, if you think D.C. was bad, just wait. Apparently grinning as he says it. That juxtaposition, building for a baby while predicting trouble, it's instantly, well, jarring.
It definitely sets a tone. The review also layers in some personal details about Chris, like his wife is 7 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And she calls him before rallies, reminding him to wear a mask. Apparently she doesn't want him bringing COVID home. And interestingly, the reviewer points out his wife is a Chinese immigrant.
Huh. That adds a layer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you contrast it with some of the views the film apparently shows Chris expressing later on.
It's complex, yeah. Like a tour of his windowless man cave, which the review describes as being stacked with firearms, AR-15s, a 12-gauge AK-47, AR-10s, lots of them.
Okay.
And the reviewer also highlights Chris's belief, stated in the film, that something like 95% of cop killings are justified.
Right. And there's that moment at a rally that reviewer mentions where Chris is shown shouting, "Are you legal?" at an Asian protest.
Exactly. And the reviewer kind of placing the detail about Chris's wife near that moment. Well, it feels significant, doesn't it?
It really does. So shifting from Chris, the review also brings in Randy. He's presented in maybe simpler terms.
Yeah, it seems that way. An older man whose kind of defining characteristic, according to the film via the review, is this conviction that civil war is basically unfolding right now.
Just very focused on that single idea.
Pretty much, yeah. A stark, almost singular focus described there. And then there's Thad, Latino ex-serviceman.
Okay.
Apparently espouses conservative family values, has 4 kids, trying to bring 2 of them to the U.S. The reviewer finds him maybe the most conflicting of the trio the film follows.
Conflicting? Why does the reviewer say that? What does the film show?
Well, the review notes that despite his background and stated values, Thad apparently finds himself attending Black Lives Matter events.
Oh, interesting.
And when he's asked directly, what concrete things has Trump actually done to improve his life, he sort of struggles to articulate it. He eventually settles on, I'm in love with what he's done for the people in terms of unification.
Unification. That's quite a statement given everything else.
It suggests some internal grappling, maybe, that the film manages to capture.
That's fascinating, seeing those different facets side by side. So, okay, we have these portraits of individuals like Chris, Randy, Thad. The review then seems to paint a picture of the bigger environment they were in, the rallies themselves.
Yes, exactly. The reviewer details how the film depicts these pro-Trump rallies, showing gatherings of, all sizes and demographics.
And specific details about the people there, like men in camo, beers.
Right, men in camo, beers in hand, and behaviors like reciting the Proud Boy oath, which the reviewer implies links them to a specific often nationalistic ideology and declaring themselves Western chauvinists.
And the whole visual landscape of the movement is there, too. Bumper stickers like "fuck your feelings" or even "COVID choose Trump."
Yep, those are mentioned. And flags draped everywhere, the "don't tread on me," the thin blue line.
The whole 9 yards.
Pretty much. And the attitude captured, according to the review, the film shows jokes about shooting and crucifying those with opposing views, just out there, without hesitation. The reviewer notes how, seeing this, it makes you wonder what must be said when the cameras aren't around.
Yeah, definitely. What the reviewer really seems to highlight, though, is that this feeling of unrest, this chaos, it wasn't just a sudden thing. They describe it as something that had been brewing for a long time in certain circles.
That's a key insight from the review's perspective on the film, yeah. The reviewer says the film shows how Trump's election defeat immediately triggered these calls of interference, robbery,
Right.
and how online platforms then escalated this to literal calls to arms.
So it's portrayed almost as an outlet for pent-up anger and frustration that was already there.
According to the review, yes, within the context of the film, that's kind of how this buildup is presented. The bitterness of defeat seems to have fueled mobilization, spreading fear, almost for the sake of getting a taste of power back, maybe? And the chants themselves, like, the election isn't over until we say it is, and whose streets? Our streets. The review describes them as being laced with palpable violence.
Bringing this all together towards January 6th itself, the review's focus seems to swing back strongly to Chris and his experience that day, his excitement.
Yeah, apparently written all over his face. The thought of storming a government building,
And the preparation for him.
packed tasers and knives, framed it as a survival kit for the trip.
Yeah.
The film then apparently follows him right into that chaotic scene, into a tight, dark corridor as supporters are pushing past riot police.
And he's right in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah. Shown taking multiple hits of pepper spray, eyes weeping, skin raw. And he's not passive either, depicted as a vocal agitator, shouting obscenities at the police.
And that specific quote the reviewer pulls.
Yeah, Chris yelling, "I'm gonna drag Pelosi out by her fucking toes" to the crowd. Apparently whipping men into a frenzy. That specific detail the reviewer highlights is, well, it's chilling.
Definitely.
And the reviewer notes how the director, Primo, alternates between his own camera footage and police body cameras. It creates this disorienting, almost claustrophobic feeling, they say, that really underscores the violence and the chaos of that moment.
So after all that, what did this journey lead to for these individuals? At the end of the film, according to the review, what happens?
Well, the outcomes presented are quite stark, and they're varied. Thad, the one described as the most conflicting, he's disavowed by the Proud Boys.
Oh, really? Why?
The reviewer attributes it to his involvement in the Black Lives Matter movement, which the film apparently showed that internal conflict had consequences.
Oh, okay. And Chris, the one who seemed so central to the Jan 6th depiction.
Chris receives one of the longest prison sentences connected to the riots, 12 years.
12 years.
And the reviewer makes a really poignant observation here, noting his newborn son will basically be a teenager before he properly gets to know his father.
That hits hard. And Randy, the man convinced of civil war. What's his situation at the end?
According to the review's closing description, Randy is seen pretty much doing the same thing, sitting on the back of a pickup truck, seemingly back to his routine of rounding up crowds for more confrontations, targeting cars and passersby.
So no change there, it seems. That paints a pretty stark final picture for each of them, doesn't it?
It really does. And the reviewer's ultimate observation is that the whole cycle, the news cycle, the echo chamber, the unrest captured in the film, it hasn't stopped. It feels like Primo, through the film, is left asking, will it ever?
Yeah, it certainly leaves you with that question just kind of hanging in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So we've taken a deep dive here into this review of Homegrown. We've explored the film's focus on specific individuals like Chris, Randy, and Thad, and how it depicts the rallies, the brewing unrest, and the events of January 6th through their eyes and experiences. All as seen by this particular reviewer.
And for you, the listener, what this review offers is a unique, quite granular look into the personal dimensions, the sentiments, the motivations surrounding January 6th that this documentary tries to capture. It's a way to sort of quickly grasp this specific viewpoint presented in the film.
So, thinking about this, you see the distinct outcomes for Chris and Thad after January 6th prison for one, being disavowed by his group for the other, and then Randy apparently just continuing his actions. What does the film's portrayal, as described here, really suggest about the forces that keep this kind of unrest going, even after major events?
Yeah, and maybe, considering the power of the echo chambers the film reportedly shows, what might it actually take to shift these dynamics, if anything?
It's a significant question. Definitely something left for you to consider.